I recommend it. Don't watch it during work too, because I got like no work done when I watched it.
They were like, Addy, what's up with that email you're supposed to send? What email? Moving on to our final, and I will say my favorite segment today. We are talking about our top movies from 2020. We have zero time to fucking waste. Let's just jump right into this shit. Addy, hit me with what your fifth favorite movie from 2020 is.
Happiest Season on Hulu. Fucking hilarious, heartfelt, warm, and you don't get too many Christmas movies involving LGBTQ, casts, and everybody in this movie did a fucking great job. Everybody from, I mean, it had a really good cast. It had Kirsten Stewart, Mackenzie Davis, Allison Rhee, Aubrey Plaza, Dan Levy, fucking hilarious. Like, this was a great cast. Like, this movie, check it out. It was good. To round up the year of a shitty ass year, get a good Christmas movie. Fuck the Hallmark Channel. Go to Hulu. Watch Happy Season.
Did you just randomly see this movie? Like,
yeah, this was one of Anna's Christmas wish movies that she wanted to watch, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like really hate Christmas movies. This one was good. This one was a really good Christmas movie.
Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. There we go.
Yeah. Great movie. Like, I recommend it. I know you're a Mackenzie Davis fan. You do like her. She did a great job in this movie.
Yeah, really great Mackenzie. Big Mackenzie Davis fan. The series that got me going for her was *Halt and Catch Fire*. If anybody,
oh yeah, fantastic.
And
that was like one of her like first things that she did too. Like, it wasn't like she'd been a seasoned actor. Like, that was like her second thing, and she fucking was amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull an audible here. No, you know what? I'm gonna save that one for an honorable mention. My movie for my fifth, I guess, best favorite movie of the year. I don't even know. It was a movie that kind of knew what it wanted to be, and it was just that. It was Becky. This is a movie that came out. Is basically about this little girl who she runs into. Her and her father go to this like retreat along with her father's new like girlfriend who's black, by the way, and they happen to run into some Nazis who the Nazis are trying to they're trying to get something in the house, apparently like some like relic or something, not relic, but like some sort of like memento, like I don't know, some fucking something that they're looking for, right? And the top Nazi was played by of course Kevin James, who obviously we know from King of Queens, right? This is just a fucking bizarre movie. I will say so myself, where essentially it's like Home Alone meets Nazis, is essentially what this movie is. We just see fucking, this little like, 12, 13-year-old girl just fucking fuck these dudes up, for lack of a better saying. So that was my fifth best movie of the year. And honestly, the reason why I was conflicted is because I don't even know if I really liked it so much as I just thought it was just like a weird, gory, bizarre movie. But anyways, that was my fifth one. What else you got from me, Eddie?
So number 4, it's not a film, it's a TV series. Came out January last year. Cheer on Netflix. Cheer was fucking fantastic. This was like, I'm not really into like gymnastics or anything like that, but man, they did this series well. You got to like follow the lives of these college students at I believe it was Navarro College, which is a community college, so it's only a 2-year college, and this is like the most prestigious, sought after college there is, and like what they put these girls and guys through, being in like the south of Texas, and you have gay cheerleaders, trying to be accepted in the community, but man, like the backstories that some of these people had. There was a little bit of controversy with one of the stars recently. He's kind of in a little bit of a trouble, but overall fantastic.
What kind of trouble once you start watching? Oh, no gloss over that. Look at the controversy you're
He
talking
may have requested some images
about. Oh
from
shit!
teenage boys
Fuck,
type of
dude.
stuff.
Jesus
So yeah,
Christ.
it was sad to hear that because he was really the rising star. I don't, you know, I'm not gonna go too far into it, but the show overall fantastic. Like, check it out if you need a good pick me up. You know, for 2021, the start of it.
Yeah. For my next one, I'm going to go with a series. And I probably should have did this, pulled it up, but I'm going to go with a show, man. I'm going to go with Watchmen. Um, it was it was a weird fucking show to watch. And it's an HBO series based off of the graphic novel, of course. And yeah, it was just a weird fucking series. In that the place you start at ultimately isn't the place, like and even honestly just starting the series, you're not really you don't really expect what you're kind of seeing immediately, at least if you watched like the movie, right? Or if and I didn't read the graphic novel myself, but I just was not expecting what we got in this series. So David Lindelof, I believe that's his name, was the show creator. Gave us something really fucking out of left field, and it holds you pretty much the whole time. There's some, I think, dead parts there in the middle, but they had a specific reveal towards the end of the series that was just like, man, that was kind of worth a little bit of that dry spell in the middle there. But yeah. Yeah, that and Regina King, man, she, like, I can't say enough good things about her, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does as a director going forward. But she killed it in the series. Pretty much everybody did who was involved with the series. Did such a great job. But anyways, yeah, that was my that's my next. That's my fourth favorite thing that I watched in 2020.
So number three for me would be Netflix film I'm Thinking of Ending Things, based on the novel of the same name. Fucking beautifully done. I mean, this is a Charlie Kaufman movie, and I mean, you can't really go wrong. I thought this movie, everything from the story to the psychological aspect of it, the suspense that it gives you, the cinematography, moving, from the past to to the future, all while being in the same moment. And, you're kind of hearing a conversation between you, or I guess the main character himself, and like the made up fictional characters in his mind and scenarios. Like, I mean, just beautifully done. We did a press play on it, or I should say you guys did. You guys definitely check it out. Watch the movie first, watch the press play. It was fantastic.
Yeah. This was an interesting movie, I would say the least. I did read the book, and I wanted to kind of compare notes on the actual series, or the movie itself. There were some key things that I felt like they left out in the movie.
Yeah.
That would have helped us out as far as understanding sort of like what the fuck's going on in the movie. So I think they kind of, they could have made it a little better in terms of just like adding some things that they had in the book that would have given some context to what we were seeing. But yeah, all in all, yeah, I thought it was just a weird movie. But yeah, I can appreciate why you have it on your list there. My next movie is one that this was supposed to save, like we've had a fucking insane year, right? Insane year. Where everything's shut down. Here we are, theaters are shut down, and everybody's wondering when the fuck are theaters coming back, right? And it was debated for a while, like exactly when that would happen. But around June, we sort of were thinking, okay, guys, I think we're going to be back here. I think we're going to do it here. But alas, that wasn't the case. It wasn't until July that we really got our first taste of new material coming out in theaters. And that, of course, Tenet. Just a word, Tenet. I thought this movie was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was so fucking interesting. It was so weird. And I've said weird about 18,000 times. But it was just, it was another classic turn from Nolan with his manipulation of time. And this was his strangest yet, if I could say so myself. And like, I'm still in awe of how technically it was shot and how the story kind of like wove together. You can say what you will about the plot, but how they technically pull this thing off was just fucking mind blowing in terms of how they were able to make everything just line up and at least make somewhat sense. I was always standing by the idea that it was just not the movie to bring people back out to theaters because of the type of movie that it was. It was just, it's so technically dense. And the plot, it's a little hard to follow in terms of understanding exactly what's happening at any given moment in time. So what you need to get people back out to theaters is something easy. Even a Wonder Woman 1984, as much as I loathe the movie, even that would have been better served to bring people back out because it's just something that I can fucking eat popcorn to and just fucking, just watch. And that would have brought everybody back out rather than just the cinephiles,
Yeah.
But yeah, Tenet gets my ring for third, or I guess the second best movie that I've, or third best movie, I guess, that I've seen this year. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All
right. So second best movie is a Netflix documentary. This one is called American Murder, The Family Next Door. And what made this one of the best things that I saw in 2020 was they used exclusively footage from homemade videos, text messages, body cam footage, and police and news footage. They did not interview a single person for this documentary. They did not, so much as look at an article or a book to show you on screen. It played out through home videos of Chris Watts' wife, and text messages that she's having between her and her friends, while her husband is, being disingenuous, he is, being removed from the family, their marital struggles, all while the police is trying to figure out what happened to her and really what happened to the two children. It's so tragic. It's so eerie. It's so fantastically well done. When I watched this, I was crying when I ended up watching it because I felt so bad to what happened to her and the children. But then I literally had to go to Anna and be like, am I not communicating enough with you? Like, do you ever feel like I'm just like lying to you? Because like, what can I do to make you not feel like this woman felt, with Chris Watts as her husband? I'm like, I need you to know that like, I'm here. I'm 100% in this. Like, it made me feel some kind of way, but like, so fantastically well done. I recommend it. If you have not seen it, if you can deal with, murder documentaries, like this one was so well done. Don't watch it during work too, because I got like no work done when I watched it.
They were like, Addy, what's up with that email you're supposed to send? What email?
Well, it's because like you have to read so many text messages on screen and everything. Like I was like, God damn.
Yeah. So my next my runner up for my favorite thing that I watched this year was actually a movie that we just recently did a press play for. So go check that out. It's the movie Black Bear. And the reason why I selected this as my favorite or my runner up for favorite movie of the year was it's just again weird. I was really into weird movies this year, and this is no exception. It's Aubrey Plaza's in it, so it's going to be fucking strange somehow. And it centers around a woman. She's going on this retreat to go write a book or finish writing a movie, and it's told from basically two different sort of like perspectives. And I'm not going to do it justice by trying to explain it, but the first part of it is basically her going on this retreat, and she's greeted by this couple who run this Airbnb, and she basically, falls for the husband, or I guess, her and her husband are attracted to each other, so they're not married. I'm sorry, they're not. The couple isn't married. It's just they're dating, but they're having a kid. They're having a baby. And Aubrey Plaza, gets into entanglement as what's her name? Jada Pinkett would say an entanglement, or isn't that the word she used?
I think so. Yeah.
An entanglement, with the guy, and so that's the first part of it, and then the second part is basically of them shooting a movie about this this kind of scenario, but the roles are kind of reversed, where the husband or the guy is now the director of the film, and it's just a weird fucking movie. Is the best I can do. Yourself a favor, if you're into some weird shit, go check this movie out. It won't disappoint as far as just being strange adventure that you're going to go on, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It had some really good laughs in it, and it told a really complex story, but did it in a very sort of as weird as it might say, it'd be to say a simplistic way, even though they told the story in a really strange way. What is your runner-up, Betty?
Wouldn't be runner-up. This would be number one, right?
Oh, this is okay. Yes, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Yes.
Yeah. I'll get you my runner-up shortly, but my number one is a Canadian pop original series called Schitt's Creek. And while this was not a 2020 release series, it ended in 2020. The final season, I believe, final episode was April of 2020. Fucking hilarious of a show, created by I believe it was Dan Levy and Eugene Levy, father-son duo. Also had their sister in it as well. Bro, the comedy in that is so funny. We just watched an entire 3-4 episodes where they were talking about Bosnia. Nobody talks about Bosnia. They're trying to, say Bosnian words in it. And I'm laughing my ass off. This show, if you need a good pick-me-up, feel good story with some raunchy humor, this is it, man. This was done so well. I don't know a person who doesn't like Schitt's Creek. And if you don't like Schitt's Creek, you can go to Schitt's Creek for all I care.
So I it's not that I don't like the series. I haven't been able to sit all the way through it. I've watched it in bits and spurts because my significant other thoroughly enjoys the show.
Well, you know what? You can go to Schitt's Creek.
But okay. Fair enough. You wouldn't be the first person to tell me that. I just haven't been able to kind of get all the way through it. But I do plan to at some point in time, because
do it, man. It's fantastic, and it gets so much better too. Seasons 2 and 3, fucking hilarious once it really picks up.
Yeah. Okay. Now for my favorite movie of the year. This again. For all of the movies that I've seen this year, I've said that they're just weird movies. This is the exception to that rule this year for me. It wasn't a weird movie, but it was in fact, I would say the reason why I think really, really, really liked this movie and thought it was probably the best movie that I've seen this year was because of, I guess, how real it is, which is obviously a huge departure from the rest of the things that were on my list. I would have to say is this movie Lingua Franca was probably my favorite movie of the year. It tells the story of a transgendered woman who she's here, she's here undocumented, and she's trying to become documented. So she's, basically she had this deal set up with this guy. They were going to marry, and essentially it was going to be for that purpose. But then he backs out, and the family that she's working for, as basically she's taking care of their grandma, the grandson comes back and is kind of like staying with them. And he's kind of a fuck up, and so, but he ends up falling for her in this case. And yeah, not to go too far into this, the story. It just was, it was a really like emotionally, I think, accurate, movie in terms of with these characters set up in this place. This is how they would react. This was probably the best movie that I've seen this year that did that. And the story, it was muted in a way that it wasn't something that was like flashy. It just showed you what life was like, especially for somebody who's undocumented, in the US. The fear you sort of live in every fucking moment that fucking ICE or somebody's gonna fucking just bust down your door, even though you've been here for years, even though you fucking pay taxes, even though you do all this shit that basically means like you're a fucking American.
Yeah.
You live in constant fear that you're at any moment in time you can be plucked out of out of this life that you sort of built for yourself, even though you're not really doing anything wrong. And so yeah, I would say that hands down this is the movie that I think was just it was just a great movie from top to bottom. There's nothing really bad that I can say about it. But yeah, with that being said, for one, let us know in the comment section below, what movie you guys fuck with last year in 2020. And I will say for my honorable mentions, I would have to say the Five Bloods from Spike Lee. I think I have to throw in there as an honorable mention, as well as we decided not to talk about the movies we didn't like because who really gives a fuck if you didn't like the movie. But I will have to say there were a couple movies this year that did really just like, why? That's the only word you can come up with. The latest of which was Wonder Woman 1984. I will have to give that put that in the why category. Why did we choose to go in that direction with the movie? Do you have anything like that, Addy, that you any movies like
Mank?
Mank
was 100%. I know stylistically and for what it was in the genre and the club that you would have to be in to fully grasp the movie. I get it. It was 2 hours of nothing. Pure garbage.
Yikes. What I can say about a movie like Mank is I feel like we weren't the audience for Mank. I feel like that was made for people who knew of that era, who
again we're not in the club,
kind of like the backstory and all that, and I think that they would have thoroughly enjoyed that movie. I don't think it was for anybody who doesn't really have a preconception of the whole idea of Mank and Citizen Kane, and the fact that he wrote it but wasn't given credit.
No, dude, Citizen Kane was great. I loved Citizen Kane. I've seen it plenty of times.
Did you really? Yeah. You really love the movie Citizen Kane?
Yeah. So I was in theater in high school. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the movies that we ended up watching as just a group. So like there's like a bit of a nostalgia to why I do like it. Yeah. But yeah, no, I enjoyed Citizen Kane. It was a good movie. Before we finish up, my runner up, and it was a tough choice between Schitt's Creek and the season finale of America 2020. That was one big shit show. And it ended beautifully. Yeah, that was actually meant to be like my I should have mentioned that off top that was probably the most entertaining shit that happened this year was absolutely
the season finale for America, the end to the 2020 presidential election was not to be missed. What else can you say about a fucking movie that leaves everybody watching for like 5 days straight? Watching fucking I forget the dude's name on CNN, but he's a dude like he remained coiffed for like fucking like 5 days straight. He never took a break. We never even saw him go to the bathroom, and yet no hair was like out of place ever. I don't know how the fuck he did it. I think his last name's King or something like that.
It was the prediction guy, the model prediction scenario guy.
Steve Kornacki on MSNBC. We all fucking enjoyed seeing him hyperventilate for like 5 days. Pointing to different fucking things on the screen. We never at any point knew what the fuck he was talking about, but still, we enjoyed it.
And the spinoff that we get from all of this is the Rudy Giuliani continuous show that we get. So it brought us plenty of joy. and it seems like it'll continue giving
seeing
us joy.
hair dye fall down his face as he's having a press conference was, it had to be the highlight of the year. That was amazing. But yeah, 2020 was a fucking crazy year. I don't think I really have much more to say about it than that. But there were some bright spots, these movies that we talked about. But with all that being said, let us know what you thought was worth watching in 2020. And maybe even things you didn't find worthy of watching in 2020 that you regret you did watch. Either way, let us know in the comment section below. With that.